Today on Game Guah, me and the boys will be given a random game. We then have 2 hours to play it, come up with a theory about it, and present it to the others. The others will then give the theory a score out of 20, and whoever gets the highest score will win the video. To choose what games we will be making a theory on, we all put 3 game names into a hat before drawing one at random.
I'm picking Piggy, 4 in a Row, and Among Us.
Alright, so the games I picked were Murder Mystery 2, Natural Disaster Survival, and Jetpack Joyride.
I am picking Project Chromata, Please Touch the Artwork 2, and Death Penalty.
Okay, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna ruffle it about. I'm gonna get the best one there is possible. My one is Death Penalty.
Now, it's my turn. Let's see what we got. We'll go this one. And we've got Murder Mystery 2.
Alright, let's see. Give me that.
Nope. Nope.
Please touch the artwork too! Now that we all have our games, we have 2 hours of research, starting now.
This is my theory about don't touch the artwork.
Yay!
Whoa.
Are you two not going to dance with me? Dance with me. So, this game is about James Ensor. He is a painter from Belgium. In the game, you play as James Ensor. This is a painting of the man. Very, very handsome chap in his prime, I must say. Look at him. Look at that. Handsome. You agree?
Yeah.
James Ensor's skeleton. This is him. This is his grave we start the game at. This is the very start of the game. This is the very end. Throughout the game, I believe that James Ensor goes from being physically dead, and his journey is through the afterlife to heaven. Now, there is a lot of evidence to back this up, which I'm very, very proud of. Number 1, skulls. Skulls are all over the game. There is tons of skull imagery everywhere in the game. You play as a skeleton, you play as a skull. Another imagery that is all over the game, these little guys, masks. Ton of masks everywhere. Now, the reason why. James's mother, this woman right here, this woman on her deathbed right here. What did you say? You said pretty woman. Pretty woman, that's nice. This is James's mother. She worked in a shop which sold masks, the type you'd find on a masquerade, which is what influenced most of his work. This image of his mother is particularly important because this image appears in the game alongside an image of his father. And James is there, his mother's there, his father is there. These little bubbles, they signify, when you click them, they signify that a person wants something in the game. And a number appears, and you have to find that object they want. Now, the mother, when you wake her up, at the shock of the skeleton she dies, if James Ensor is dead, then how are his 2 parents still alive? Because they are also dead, and this is the afterlife. The only way to see your dead parents is seeing them through the afterlife, which James Ensor is doing. Now, in both of their hands, you may notice crosses. So you might be thinking, what afterlife is James Ensor going through? Heaven, Christian heaven. The crosses are particularly important because they're all over the game. James's father, he wants you to find 8 crosses throughout the game. That's Jesus. Jesus is in the game. He makes James flow. He's in the game. He's right there. James, shout out Paradox Gaming, make an edit of me. If you're transitioning from being dead to being going to heaven, you'd expect Jesus to be the guide who does it. But he only appears in this one scene. So who is the guide that brings James Ensor's body to heaven? This ghostly figure. He appears at the end of every level with this painting portal. James jumps into the portal and goes to the next level. Do you recognise that man?
Looks like the guy from the beat.
Yeah, they're pretty mad.
Correct. It's James Ensor. Now, my theory is that James Ensor's body, after a level is complete, James Ensor's soul takes him to the next level, and overall to a next level of the afterlife. This man, he's on the game icon for the mobile port, and he's in most of the branding for the game. This is the Hat Man, as the game calls him. He appears in this painting, which is James Ensor's The Intrigue, made in 1890. Now, this is a autobiographical painting of James Ensor on his sister's wedding day, as she got married to a this guy over here, Chinese artist. Now, this represents James Ensor, this guy, the guy on all the branding, and this guy appears in the game right here, and you can see him ripping a painting. He does that throughout the entire game. Why? If this represents James Ensor, then why does he destroy Ensor's own paintings? All of these backgrounds are made by Ensor in real life. He did all this, it's very beautiful. His artwork is incredible. But why would he break his own artwork? Because I believe this guy represents James Ensor's mind. The mind that doesn't want to go to the afterlife. The body and the soul, they're trying to move on, but the mind can't move on. Now, we confront the mind in the final chapter called The Wedding. And in this chapter, once we reach the guy, he asks for one thing. That's the bubble. That's when they want something. What does he want? Verinda, take a guess.
To go to the afterlife.
William, take a guess.
To see his parents.
He wants the intrigue. He wants his friends. Now, the body, he's content with going to the afterlife. The soul, he's content. The mind is stuck on his past life. The mind is stuck on reliving the life of being with his sister on her wedding day. And what is the chapter we confront him in called? The Wedding, representing his sister's wedding. Now, eventually we help him find his sister. We help him come at peace with moving to the afterlife. But this painting, this scene in particular, is what I think is the most important scene of the game. William, what's the game called?
Picture this too.
No. Verinda, what's the game called?
Don't touch the artwork.
No, it's called Please Touch the Artwork too. But this artwork is the only artwork in the game which you can't touch. The only artwork in the game which you can't tamper with. The only artwork in the game which he doesn't want you to change, because that is him coming to grips with being dead. The mind, the body, the soul. They all have moved on. They all accept that they're going to the afterlife. And only after they accept it, they go to heaven. Now, that doesn't look like heaven. Heaven is big, pearly gates, white. But many philosophers say heaven is personable. Heaven is what the person wants it to be. So James Ensor, a painter, his afterlife, his heaven, is going to be him painting, surrounded by everything. Over here, we can see a painting we see over at the wedding. Here, we see a painting we see earlier in the game. The whole around him is paintings that we saw earlier in the game. And that is his heaven. And that is my theory on Please Touch the Artwork 2! Thank you! Thank you!
Now it's time I actually explain how the scores will work. There are 2 criteria that will be ranked out of 10 by the 2 audience members. 1. Joy, whimsy and overall coolness, and 2. Actual believability.
Really, to please touch the artwork too. I think it seems like a very believable theory. It seems like something, the developer intended for it. But then also, whimsical. It is it's a nice concept, but I feel like it's quite overused, or like commonly used in a lot of games. So I'll give the believability a good 7, and then the whimsicalness a 5.
Okay, I'd say that Billy's theory on Please Touch the Artwork too is actually very valid and quite a smart way to view Please Touch the Artwork too, because his theory of the afterlife and the death and the religious beliefs all link, and rank Billy's believability a 7 out of 10, and I'd rank
Whimsy.
the whimsicalness,
Coolness and whimsy.
the coolness and whimsy, I'd rank it a 6 out of 10.
The death penalty is my favourite Roblox game ever, so I'm really excited for William's theory on it.
So my luck of the draw, I got chosen to do death penalty, and I was actually quite happy I got this because it is a brilliant game, and there is just so much I could say about it. So here we have death penalty, this lovely face, and here is my second slide.
Ooh.
So my theory for death penalty, is that the game's owner gathers the worst of the worst criminals into his karmatic game to serve justice among the innocent victims that had just encountered horrible criminals. And this links to the theory of Saw, where the game's owner gathers nasty criminals that would rob people in daylight and commit murder and do drugs in broad daylight, and just serve justice and pay them back for the damage they've done to their criminals, to their victims. Yeah, so we've got this armed robber, very lovely guy. So I think that it's just a brilliant way to show the karma. Third slide.
Third slide.
This is my in-game gameplay, and I got very lucky in my game, and also quite unlucky at the same time. So let's start from this side. So this is something.
That's the bedroom where you spawn.
That's the bedroom where I spawn, and you can see I can crouch, I can run, and do whatever, but you're quite limited. There's not very much freedom in that because it's like a jail, but worse. This is the amazing jail that I got locked in at one point by getting chosen on this spinning wheel, and it was sad. And this is me locked in a jail cell with 2 people, one on my left, one on my right, and I've been chosen by the other contestants, and they were voting who they want to kill, and I couldn't do anything basically except for chat and type, and luckily I survived.
Sorry, is in the middle. Did you get a gun?
I did get a gun.
Wow.
I was quite lucky,
I
and I
also
even
have
managed to kill.
Question. He also has a question. So the middle picture, but the top middle picture, why is it flips?
Oh yeah, it is. Just out of curiosity.
Well, there was a technical issue with that. Skip that. And this is me. They put this saw-like neck brace on you just to make sure they can track you, they can keep you under their will whilst you're just stuck in their own simulation, and you can't do much about it. You just have to watch and accept your fate, depends what happens. And you just stand on this table here and just basically hope other people die. I mean, it's not really hard to think about people dying once you've already committed all these crimes. It's just serving their karma. And by the end, you can actually win the game and escape. And here we have when I died, because you can die, it's very easy to die. There's a slight chance that you're going to win. And my username is the infamous G46699. And
Make sure to add him.
don't forget that.
Make sure to follow him.
And I got my luscious hairstyle, so I don't know why they put me there, but they did. And I just thought it was a brilliant way to serve justice than going to a jail for the rest of your life and just living it out when you can be shot. So I ended up getting lucky to have the gun, the revolver, and I managed to kill a person or two. And this is actually another game I had, and it was first to shoot the other one. I won. I guess I'm just the best. So I won this one, and they got to watch me kill him. Again, serving my criminal duties. And then here, we've got the darkness, because it is a really intimidating place, even for severe criminals. And it's just like Lego figures, because it's similar to the childhood memories. And here we've got another jail bit, because that just shows you how much confinement there is in this game show, and the scary nature of being one of the last alive at that point and possibly escaping, but you don't know what they're going to do afterwards, because I've never made it that far. And there's a broad range of game shows just to show the cruel, immoral nature. And you know, I was even playing with cool people called Andrew and 67 Sal 76, and you know, they got to witness tragic things happen to just criminals that deserved it. And you know, of course, we got some nasty verbal abuse, so they certainly deserved it. And that's my theory, that it is similar to Saw, and it's chromatic. It is the chromatic game to survive justice amongst the innocent victims.
I love that. I genuinely really like that.
So Death Penalty is my favourite Roblox game ever, and when William drew it, I thought he was going to desecrate my favourite game. He kind of did, but boy, I really like that. I was like, if you cut to that camera, if you cut to the side camera, I had a smile on my face the whole time. I was enjoying it so much. But like the believability, not there. I'll say not there. It like obviously like there's bits like the whole relating it to Saw really smart. But it's all just kind of a bit too surface level. So believability will be a 3 from me. But whimsy, I was enjoying that the whole way through. I loved like the little examples William got. So I will give whimsy a good 8.
That theory, honestly, I just couldn't stop laughing throughout the whole thing. You know, I'd occasionally turn to the camera just to see, you know, everyone's reactions. It was an amazing theory. It was definitely, you know, very fun. Again, with the Saw links, that was, you know, pretty cool actually. You know? But believability, like I'm on the same opinion. There wasn't too much like analysis on in-game. All you really got is just guns and jail cells. That's important. Yeah, so I'm also gonna give it a 3 for whimsicalness. I'll also give it an 8. So.
Now this is the war theory for Murder Mystery 2. So let's just... Now this... Come up. Hopefully. Here it is. Now this is Zayli, the main character of our story. What if I told you that apart from just being painting in one of the many houses, he is also a failed science experiment in a war, you could say, you know?
In a war theory.
And here's just, you know, reference as to where I got Zayli. You can see there's a picture of him in his house. This would indicate, you know, he holds significance, he is definitely important to someone in this house. Now, why do I think this game is about war? I've noticed a pattern with the maps I've analyzed. My first map, the hospital. What does the hospital have to do with wars, you ask?
Yeah. What does a hospital have to do with wars?
That's a good question.
Lost answer. Go on. Interrupt him.
What does a hospital have to do with wars?
Well, you're an idiot for asking that. Because think
Yeah, William, you're
think about that,
stupid.
man. You know, people who die in war, they go to hospitals to get healed. And also, notice that there's hospital free. That means there's 2 more hospitals. So why would you need so many hospitals if there wasn't something going on? Now, another location, pretty obvious, military base. You can see a tank there. This is obviously, you know, a big direct hint to that. You know, there's a war going.
There's only one.
This is obviously a military base. Obviously. And here we have a factory. This is probably where they supply, you know, weapons, ammunition, medical supplies as well to people fighting in this war. Now, here we go. So the pattern continues. In these maps, I've noticed 2 unique structures. This plasma sort of like plasma chamber sort of thing. And here's this delivery truck, and these 2 structures will come in later. Moving on. Now Xyleek's links. How does Xyleek link to these maps? Now, I found some pretty damning evidence. First of all, in the military map, you can see right here it says Xyleek's shell. Do not sit. The fact that it says do not sit, this implies, you know, he's a high member in the military. He works for the military base. He's probably he trains to go take one. Now remember that van I just told you about? Let's take a look.
Xyleek's fan,
At the right. At the right. What does it say? Right there.
He must be a very rich guy.
So like you.
So, you know, he's both a military leader, person in the military, and he's also a delivery driver. Along with
Very
that,
rich one at that.
along with this, that also proves that these 2 maps link together, since, you know, these supplies go here. Xyleek links both of these maps. So, you know, they're in the same universe. Now, Xyleek's down.
No, he's my favorite.
So, now, to talk about Xyleek's downfall, we have to look at the biolab. And this is where I really start to think he's a failed science experiment.
What?
Now, if you remember that blue plasma chamber, so that blue energy, you can see it is in the same, you know, in the corridors of the biolab. They're on the same power supply. They're made by the same people, the same company, like the people who work at the military base. Moving on, you can see they've done these. They've got these little like test chambers with all these people trapped inside. Now, why would they do this? What I think they're doing is they're trying to make superhuman soldiers to fight in the war. And you know, Xyleek just so happened to be a failed experiment with one of their first experiments, and then he just ended up going crazy. Now, another thing I noticed is that you can also get powers, which is probably what, you know, this radiation supplies to the human powers. And also, if you know, we'll zoom in on that. Another thing I noticed, you've got lots of these little containment chambers, right? You see here's one, and here's another one. You've got lots of this grass, probably to simulate like an outside environment. They're both, you can't see it in this picture, but they're both like little glass windows. So that implies, you know, something was supposed to be kept in there and observed. Something to, you know, something that's likely to be tested on, you know. You've got all these, you know, supplies, probably food for whoever's trapped inside there. And you've got an alarm system in case something were to break out. And as you can see, if you go to the secret room at school, you can see Xyleek himself is aimed behind a piece of glass with a knife. And that is the Xyleek failed science experiment.
Alright, so the believability is, I think it is a believable theory, but the theory is to do with the maps. It's like, the maps is obviously lore there, but like, he doesn't link it to the game. Like, there could be a thing where Xyleek is, he's held with a knife, all the superhumans are the murderers or something. But like, the map is like, maps are still a good source of the theory crafting. So believability, I'll give it solid middle of the road 5. Solid middle of the road 5. Whimsy, it was very whimsical. There were bits where he could have gone more out there, more whimsical. I'll give that one a solid 6.
Personally, my opinion of VARINDER's theory for Murder Mystery 2 was quite the intriguing one, like any theory. So I would say that his details through all the maps linking together with Zyleek's downfall was quite a clever thing to do. But I felt that it was just quite repetitive and kind of lacked a more opinionated theory. So for the believability, I'd give it a 5. And then for the whimsicalness and the coolness, since it was quite repetitive and it was quite the same thing and the maps, the same theories, just kind of repeated through all the slides, I'd have to just give it a 5.
Ooh, a 5, really? For whimsy?
Anyway, the scores are in, and William with a total score of 22.
Well,
22 out of
I'm quite
40.
happy with that. I got over 50%.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a happy score. I'm quite satisfied with that.
But that isn't even last place as you would expect, because last place goes to Verinder with a measly 21 points. Barely scraped over 50% there. What do you have to say?
I think William's opinion is wrong. You can't be speaking. This is good.
Anyway, sorry, do you guys hear that? It's the gem alarm. Because Billy wins another video!
Dude, this is the second video I won. I'm on a hot streak. I'm on a hot streak. I won the scavenger hunt. I won this one. I'm gonna win the next one. And I'm gonna win them all. Dude, we have so many more games we'd love to do with this. So please, if you liked this video, comment, let us know that you loved it, and we will definitely do a sequel, because I had fun. Did you have fun?
I had plenty of fun.
And did you have fun? We all had